Hello, and welcome to my blog, Let's Have Fun. This is an exploration of the efficacy of gamification for learning technical insurance information. I've heard it before, insurance is so boring. This blog is about taking the boring out of insurance by introducing gamification. Gamification can not only increase engagement, but also motivate learners and support improved outcomes. My name is Heather Graham, and I'm a college professor who teaches insurance courses in a 2-year business insurance program. The subject matter in my courses, admittedly, is highly technical and, depending on how it is delivered, can be quite dry. But it doesn't have to be. Properly designed gamification will support learners' motivation, and the resulting positive attitudes and behaviors may in turn support positive learning outcomes. While lectures and PowerPoint presentations have their place, incorporating games and creativity helps keep the eye glazing to a minimum. The subject matter for the game was property perils. A peril is an event that can cause a loss to occur. For example, wind is a peril. You can have a windy day that causes no damage or a tornado that causes significant damage. The three major perils in property insurance are fire, water, and wind. If you've been following the news this spring and summer, you would have heard about severe flooding, tornadoes, and extreme wildfires occurring across Canada. In considering the type of game to use, I realized that the game needed to be designed to provoke discussion about the three perils, including which types of losses would be covered and which would not. To accomplish this, I decided to test the efficacy of an online scavenger hunt for images of the three perils to see whether this activity would spark the desired discussion. Traditionally, scavenger hunts are conducted in person, with participants traveling within a specific area to retrieve objects or find locations, which they then confirm by taking photos. Online scavenger hunts are generally used as icebreakers, requiring participants to retrieve household objects. These types of hunts were not appropriate for the subject matter in my learning objective, so I adapted the game to have students look for images. This activity is most effective if students do their text readings in advance. However, it can still be effective if they don't pre-read. It simply requires more guidance from the instructor in leading the discussion. Students were required to retrieve images of property fires, water damage, and wind damage. They were given 15 minutes to retrieve the images. They were asked not to use AI and to only use images from image sharing sites such as Creative Commons or Pexels or from trade magazines. I also retrieved 3 images. The 3 images shown here were all retrieved from Pexels. It was interesting to find that the students' pictures focused on homeowner claims and included photos of siding blowing off a roof, a flooded basement, and the scorched interior of a home. We collectively determined that the students' photos were superior because they directly linked the perils to property claims. The discussions that took place during the photo review centered on whether or not the losses would be covered. Fire is generally always covered, except if it is the result of arson caused by or at the direction of the insured. Wind is covered whether it's a hurricane, a tornado, or simply a really strong windstorm. Water damage, however, is trickier as it's only covered under specific circumstances. It's so important for students to recognize what the standard policy covers and when the insured would need additional protection. For instance, the photo above shows overland flooding, which is not covered by a standard policy, but which can be covered by adding a broad form water damage endorsement. By reviewing the photos and discussing the various scenarios, we were able to fully cover off the learning objective. You know, they say variety is the spice of life, and this scavenger hunt can be conducted in a variety of ways. It can be conducted individually or by student teams. As a added fun element, the students can be tasked with finding song lyrics that correspond to one of the perils that they have identified. Bonus marks can be given to the students willing to sing their song. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Conducting this activity online made it easy to share the images via this screen share feature. It would be important for students to connect to the Teams meeting by their computer rather than using a mobile phone, as they might not be able to join a meeting room or share their screen to display images. This activity could also be done in the classroom, with students either connecting their computers to the projector or emailing their image to the instructor for projection on their behalf. According to feedback, we achieved the objectives of engagement and fun through the scavenger hunt. I'm looking forward to adding this to my toolbox and incorporating this activity into my lessons. I hope that you might consider doing this as well. Thank you.